Tournaments have been a major piece of competitive OS for the better part of the past decade and have made some of the most memorable moments in the whole game. The matches involve strategy and team composition, map picks, and map bans, but are mostly made up of the individual or combined skill of the players. There's many different ways to judge how good a player or team does in a tournament, but I think there's an easy answer to the best tournament performance we have ever seen. The OS World Cup 2019 was the 10th edition of the annual competition where the world's best players representing their countries go head-to-head. Playing for United States were Apraxia, Ariu, Digital Hypno, Fiery Rage, idke, Tony, Toy, and Vaxei, a stacked team if there ever was one. Each of them on their own are some of the best players in the world in their own right, but together they make an absolute monolith of a team. Starting with the qualifiers, they would place first seed overall with weighted average of 4.3, almost 3 points higher than the United Kingdom at seed number 2. Moving to the round of 32, the United States would meet the bottom seed, Turkey, and unsurprisingly win the game 5-1. Scores are often very close on the easier maps that are played in the earlier stages, so 1 point drops aren't anything out of the ordinary. The same thing would happen in the round of 16, where against France, the United States was able to take the win 5-1. As the quarterfinals approached, the competition and maps would become more fierce and challenging, or at least it seemed like it would. Once again, the United States would win a game only dropping 1 point, 6-1 against Australia. It was no secret that the US were tournament beasts, as they had won 3 World Championship titles before this, but I don't think anyone predicted just how strong they were. Everything up to now was expected, as the scores between more evenly matched teams will be closer, but what would happen next was completely unexpected. The semifinals came and went as Russia couldn't do anything to stop the United States' roll, ending in a 7-0 victory for the Americans. Where most teams would begin to crack, even just a little when put against increasingly skilled opponents, the US wouldn't as much as flinch. A week later, the US would face off against the team that brought them to tiebreaker bracket reset in grand finals the previous year, the United Kingdom. In possibly the most jaw-dropping display of dominance, idke FCed 5 maps of the finals map pool, aiding the United States in a 7-0 against one of their biggest rivals. They had secured a minimum second-place finish just like that. The United Kingdom faced off against South Korea, who worked their way up winner's bracket, and in a close match that went to tiebreaker, the Koreans would take them down. It was just SK and US now, and there was some real hope that South Korea as underdogs would be able to make it interesting based on how they played against the UK. The match began.
That is going to be 1-0 United States.
You have to wonder if having Karuna would have made a difference there. I honestly don't think it would.
And a ton of misses from the Americans there, and the Koreans will end with combo, but the Americans, 450,000 points. They'll take a 2-0 lead.
That is one hell of a performance from Vaxei. Like,
unbelievable. What? He's gonna, oh, he doesn't quite get the million, so close. But a phenomenal score from Vaxei. Yeah, some misses coming in from the US side here at the end, but the US have put enough points in the bank to secure a 4th point. 4-0. They are 3 points away.
idke and Fire Rage are just having the time of their life on this map. As I say that, their Fire Rage doesn't break at the end.
He's gonna run it to the end. Will he go all the way? He will, idke. Coming in hot with the 1 million points. And idke, the players that broke, set the 1,000 PP rivalry, coming in with the FCs, the two-way FCs in the grand final. That's 3.4 million points from the US. 6-0, match point.
And finally,
Tuna and Karuna are there. Is it
idke is holding on for dear life. We're at the end of the map. The United States are going to take it away.
Here they are, the 2019 World Cup champions. The United States of America, for the 4th time, will bring it home. A spirited effort from South Korea in the dying seconds.
7-0 for the United States. For the first and only time in history, the United States did a clean sweep in the grand finals of the World Cup. On one of the hardest map pools ever played, and against the best team in the rest of the world, the US hadn't let them secure even a single point. The thousands that were watching were left stunned that the US could so easily take the world champion title. Dropping only 3 points in the entire tournament and never losing a match, the United States' 37-3 performance is easily the best stat line of any team, not even considering that they clean swept the entire finals. Each of the team members did extremely well in their own regard, but Toy and Fiery Rage would each earn an MVP, while idke and FCed would both earn double MVPs. The United States played so astronomically well that idke announced he would be ending his tournament career, as he didn't think he could ever top his performance here. From being the underdogs in 2015 to becoming the absolute pinnacle of skill, the United States now had the most World Cup wins under their belt, with 4 first-place finishes. As many skilled players continue to pop up from all around the world, it's unclear if we'll ever see a run like this one ever again.
It's so scary to have that thought that you have to like at least 3-way, if not 4-way maps, just to have a chance. And that's what it means to play against the United States.